So these are the turkey mounts. I got a bass over here and some other things. Pretty fan. This was 2 turkeys I had killed. And that being the biggest spurred bird I'd ever shot. A taxidermist, believe it or not, they switched the beards. That longer beard's supposed to be on that longer spurred turkey, but whatever. I remember that turkey on the left side, that beard instead of spurs. It was, I think, 4 of them in the tree, and me, my uncle, and my dad had snuck right up under those birds, and about right as soon as they hit the ground, my uncle called at them one time and they gobbled, and they weren't but 30 yards from me, and I picked out one of them and bam, he started flopping. And that was probably the quickest turkey hunt I've ever been on. I mean, it was still dark. I think actually the next weekend is when I shot this bigger spurred bird. I've got some hooks. The best ones I got. But I had shot him that next weekend, and this is his fan. We had turkeys all around us, and nothing was willing to cooperate. And then we just sat in silence for probably 45 minutes. And we had a strutting decoy out. And I heard something stomping through the woods, sound like an elephant coming through the woods, charging. And I looked, and it was this big old turkey coming through there, strutting and running, and then strutting some more. And he ran straight to the gun. I mean, it was picture perfect. He's maybe 15 yards, and I let him have it. It was a pretty bird. I put about a baseball-sized hole in him. But I love how these turkey feathers look. I think they're real pretty. And they got some of that good coloring too right here. This is actually some pictures of first 3 turkeys I ever shot. That one in the middle was the first bird I ever killed. It was me, my uncle, and dad over there off the river. And we had 3 or 4 turkeys off the roost down in that bottom, and we could see them gobbling and carrying on. And eventually one of them broke off and started coming to us. And I had the gun up on my knee, and the bottom of that gun was about to make my leg go to sleep because I had had it sitting there for so long. And I'm just waiting. And that turkey got close enough to where I thought I could shoot him. So I clicked the safety off, and he was strutting his way real slow. And, you know, he popped back in the strut one more time. I clicked that safety off, and I shot. Boom! And that turkey rolled over and started flopping. And this was my first turkey hunt, so I didn't know what I was doing. And my uncle and dad were like, "Go get him, run, go get him." And I was like, "What?" I didn't know you had to go chase him. So I ran over there to him. He's flopping around, and I was like, should I shoot him again?" They were like, "Dude, just step on his head." So I put my boot on his head, and he ended up stopped flopping after a few seconds. But man, that was a good one too. I mean, you could hear the noise off the creek rolling through, and the birds were gobbling. I mean, it was just a great day. I mean, dang. And it was the first turkey hunt I had ever been on too. I mean, it was perfect. It spoiled me. It definitely spoiled me. And that one over there to the left is me and Dad. That's the second bird I killed, and it was the second weekend, second time being turkey hunting. We were sitting in a magnolia swamp, and we had probably 10 birds around us. I mean, it was the hottest of hot spots. I mean, it was turkeys all over the place. And my uncle started calling a little bit, and we heard some of them start flying down. And it's dark. I mean, it's black dark, and turkeys are flying down. You know, in the woods, you can hear the wings just whoop, whoop, whoop. And I seen a turkey come in real close to us, and it was so dark, I couldn't even see a beard. You know, I was like, well, is it a hen? I don't know. And it walked right past us, and after it walked past us and out of range, it gobbled, and it eased on off. And then I was like, man, I didn't know. We missed our chance. You know, my uncle started soft calling, got him to gobble again, and ended up calling him back, actually, which is impossible as a turkey hunter to do. He's a great caller, I'll tell you what. He's called in a plenty of birds, but ended up calling him in to shoot 15 yards probably, and he poked his head up right there in the open spot, and I let him have it. I actually ended up shooting half of his tail feathers out. I think he was popping right into strut as I shot him, and I shot some of his tail feathers out. And that third one over there to the right is the third turkey I shot, which was the third weekend and the third time that I had been turkey hunting. And this was over there off a mud road. It's probably one of my favorite spots to go hunting. I have a lot of good memories over there. But this was back kind of in the swamp and just off of some planted pines. We had 2 turkeys come in, and they came in, I mean, so close you could just about poke them with a gun. And this is like they were circling around the trees trying to find us. You know, my uncle was calling, and they were like, oh, well, there's some turkeys over here, but we can't see them. And I mean, these 2 birds come in right on top of me, and I ended up picking up the second one, and I shot, boom, and he started flopping, and the second bird flew up in the trees, and I threw the gun up. And I pointed it at him, and then I decided to let him go. But I had my bead right there on his neck as he was flying away. So that's pretty much my turkey stories. And man, that spot over there where I killed that third bird, this was when you could kill 5 birds. We went back that next weekend or so, and there was a giant turkey in there. I mean, his beard was dragging the ground. He was a monster. But he stayed at 60 yards, 70 yards, and we hunted him 3 times in a row, and he come to the same spot 3 times in a row, and we never got him. But his head was just big old white, puffed up, you know, strutting. He just would not come in. I mean, he was a big turkey. And then some of these baits, I actually got these at a antique sale or something like that. There's a couple of hellbenders and a few topwaters. There's a jitterbug over there. But I thought they were cool looking. Which brings me to my bass. This bass is actually the first... take that back. It's one of my biggest bass. I actually killed this one with my, or shot, caught this fish with my best friend on that square bill crankbait right there in his mouth. And he ended up breaking the bill on it as I caught him, snapped it. But we went fishing in this pond over in Bonetta, and it was loaded. I mean, if you didn't catch a 5 or 6 pound bass every time you went, it was a bad day. I mean, I think our record out there was like 100 and something bass. It's absolutely crazy in one afternoon. But this one is the first big one we caught out there. It was in February, end of February, and I ended up getting him mounted. I think he was 9 pounds and 1 ounce when we shipped him off to Alabama to have him mounted. That is a nice bass. And actually, that next weekend, my best friend went out there, and he ended up catching his personal best bass and got it mounted too. I'm sure you'll see some video of that later on. But that was a great fishing pond. And this bait right here, actually, I caught a nice bass out of the lake, and that was stuck exactly like how it is on this bass right here. Somebody had hooked this fish, about a 6 pound bass, and snapped off their line, and the crankbait was still hanging onto the fish just like that. And I had caught that bass, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And this is the turkeys over here. This is those 3 birds in this picture. It's my 3 first turkeys. I think this mount's awesome. Pretty fan too. But anyway, that's pretty much all my trophies and things, and a few little stories. But appreciate y'all. We're gonna get you on the next one.